The stock in focus right now is HDIL. In fact, that stock has gained about 80% this year already. It's had a very smooth run. The latest news flow is that the Maharashtra government has hiked FSI for the affordable housing segment in the Mumbai metropolitan region to 3 from 1 earlier. And one of the big beneficiaries of this move would be HDIL. Sarang Vadavan, the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of the company, joins us now to talk about that. Sarang, hi, good morning, and thank you for joining us so early this morning. If you can just explain this news flow to us, this increase in FSI for the affordable housing segment, how much could your own saleable area increase because of this, and what is the kind of development opportunity that HDIL will get?
Well, you have to understand that HDIL is one of the largest land bank owners in the MMR region, and this policy of affordable housing, which has just come out 2 weeks back, is aimed at providing free of cost affordable housing to the government in lieu of additional FSI. Now, this additional FSI has moved on from 1 to 3, but out of that component, 2.25 goes towards the residential segment and 0.75 goes towards the affordable housing segment. It's a big increase in the MMR region because most of the other undeveloped areas around Mumbai, they were lacking in FSI. The FSI was restricted in those areas. But now I think with this policy, it's a good policy for us, primarily because a couple of our projects in Vasai Virar, where our component was about 50 million square feet of affordable housing, will now move up to about 75 million square feet. It will be one of the largest affordable housing township projects in India. And I think it's a great policy now, but as we go along, if there are any further amendments, you will have to wait and watch what the government does.
Oh, is it? Sarang, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Can you explain this more in terms of rupees and in terms of percentage gain for you? If you have to give away 25% for affordable housing to the government, then how much money do you make, say, on a 100 crore investment?
Well, primarily, if you look at it, the affordable housing area that we give to the government, the cost to us is primarily the construction cost. So if you're looking at anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500 rupees a square foot, will be the cost of generating this entire 2.25 component of affordable housing. We anyways used to get 1 FSI, we used to get 0.6 TDR, but now because the cost of TDR will not be involved, I think the total cost will move up a little bit, but the component of sale will increase substantially. Vasai Virar anyways nowadays is at about 4,500 to 5,000 rupees a square foot. This project, Planet HDIL, which we are planning to launch maybe this year end, will probably be about a 25,000-30,000 crore project.
Okay. Can you also start selling the land, that has higher FSI to other developers in the area, and how much of a potential could that be?
We have over the years been selling FSI in Vasai Virar. A lot of our FSI transactions have taken place in that area because we own some of the largest land banks out there. Yes, when the approvals from the Environment Ministry do come in, which we are awaiting maybe in the next couple of months, when we do get that, we will look at the FSI model as well, primarily to get the cash flow moving, to get the construction on. I think the FSI model, yes, has worked for us earlier and continues to work for us.
Okay. Well, where does all this fit in terms of your debt reduction program? You already have done a fairly successful debt reduction by over 550 crore. So does it make more strategic sense to sell more land and reduce your debt? Where would debt stand, say, end of March 31st, 2015 or March 31st, 2016?
I think it always makes sense to reduce debt. That's one component of business which takes away the margins, whatever we make. I think we've been pretty successful, but this has just been the first step. We are looking at a further 25% debt reduction over maybe this year and beginning of the next year. We are currently on a console basis at 3,400 crores. On a standalone, we are at about 29. We are looking at maybe a 25% reduction, so that will bring us close to about 2,300, and I think we'll be pretty comfortable at that level, with our debt figures.
So how will you facilitate that? I mean, what are the non-core assets that you currently have that you're looking to offload?
We've offloaded quite a bit. We've offloaded our hospitality business. We've offloaded our multiplex business. We are currently looking at a couple of other major properties that we can get into some FSI transactions. Vasai Virar obviously will form a huge part of this debt reduction process. We have other areas outside of Mumbai where we are looking at monetizing those assets. But you know, this is our daily business. I think this is what we do. We monetize land parcels, whether on an FSI basis or if we find value. We are looking at commercial properties, offloading commercial properties as well. So whatever we can do to reduce debt over this year, I think we're going to go ahead and do that.
Okay. Well, Sarang, what about the demand equation? You know, we have seen perhaps the end of job cuts, but we have not yet heard news of job creations. How is that impacting demand? How much personally did you sell, say, in the second half of FY14? How much have you sold so far in the first half of FY15? And what do you expect in the second half of FY15?
I think we're seeing good traction in the residential segment, but you know, if you put things in perspective, we are back on the 2000 and we were back in the 2009 levels where people were abstaining from buying residential properties primarily because you didn't know what the future course of action of the government was going to be. I think now with clarity, with the new government at the helm in the center, I think you know, people are going to come out like the way they did in 2010. We are seeing good traction in the residential area. Affordable housing is picking up.
Right.
Overall, you know, on figures, we have been able to sell quite a few residential properties. We're seeing sales on the ground. But I think over the next couple of months or the next quarter, you're going to see this demand pick up. People are waiting to see. Developers had delayed their projects quite a bit. Now developers have come back and they are completing projects. Approvals had stopped. Now approvals are on the way. And I think all of these factors will now bring the demand back into the system.
Okay, I just have two quick questions. One, you know, you have a huge land parcel in Panvel. So what's the progress over there in terms of projects? And I'll come to my next question in a bit.
I think, you know, with any land parcel, and especially in India, sanitization of land is the key to real estate. The approval processes is about 70% of the fight. 30% is just actual brick and mortar. And we are currently working on the approvals for Panvel. We have been successful in getting a few approvals, but I think it's going to take a little while, I think about a year, till we get that project on the ground, until we are able to start monetizing that asset.
Okay. And finally, my question is, you know, you have decided to reactivate the SRA projects in BKC and in Vikhroli. If you can just tell us, when do you expect the clearances for these projects to come through? And when they do, what kind of an upside could it provide to you in terms of FSI sales? Just ballpark figures.
You know, SRA projects are quite a different animal altogether. I think till we don't construct the rehab component, we are unable to actually get our sale FSI online. We are currently in the process of getting our rehab component online. The approval process is a continuous process for us. I think over the next year, we should be able to monetize BKC as well. We are getting active cash flows from there. You know, we have a host of other projects which are currently, we are talking to the government, but you know, considering the fact that the elections are around the corner, I don't know how that's going to pan out, because over the next 3 months, we're going to see the code of conduct come in, the elections take over, and I think the approval processes will get delayed. This is going to cause a little bit of pressure in the system, but I think we should be able to manage that.
Okay, now this is a citizen's question, Sarang. Where are prices headed, real estate? Which pockets geographically in Mumbai are likely to flare up, which might take a while? And how much, if you have some numbers?
I don't think the prices are headed down in any way. I think they're just going to either, you know, stabilize here or move up a bit. I think the ticket price that we are currently focusing on is about 1.2 crores to 1.5 crores. That's the average ticket size now anywhere on the central suburbs or on the western suburbs is a little higher. Central suburbs is about 1.2 to 1.5. And I think if you see over the next 1 year, I personally believe that the market is going to move up, and there will be at least a 20% upside for real estate developers on the pricing front.
Okay, so if you're planning to buy quickly, Sonia.